Hi, America Film My Phone, and welcome to another video. The day is finally here. We are reacting to Havoc and Bright Lights by Alanis Morissette, which is the last album of her internationally released discography that I have not heard yet, and I am fully excited to get into this project. I'm a big Alanis fan. You can tell if you haven't seen my videos before. I'm a fan, big fan, recent fan, but I've really enjoyed getting to know her over these albums that she's created, these works of art really. And I am just so excited to complete my main journey of her discography. I know I might go into some of her earlier albums. I think I'm going to re-listen to Jagged Little Pill now that I've heard everything else from her. And probably do some smaller videos. But overall, this is the video that we've been waiting for to complete our main Alanis reaction journey. I'm personally really excited to see where this album goes. I think she was married at this time to the guy that she's still married and has kids with now. So maybe an exciting, happy album. Who knows? Anyways, let's get into it. Track number 1, Guardian. Oh, starting very minimal. Maybe a little bit of bell. Okay, know some rock came in here. Okay. This feels like old Alanis mixed with a little bit of flavors of entanglement. Ooh, is that a little bit of glockenspiel? Why would you talk to me at all? Mood. I'll be your keeper for life? Ooh. As your guardian? Is that her being the guardian? I'll be your keeper for life as your guardian. Is this talking to her kid? Ooh. Seems like this bridge is going to be pretty minimalist. No more standing still in a hailstorm. Ooh, I like this post-chorus right here. It's very pretty. Ooh, interesting fade out. So that was a Guardian, and what a way to start off an album. I feel like I say that every single time, but she starts it off differently. And this one is a sweet way. It seems like it's a reference to, her having her first kid, and that she's gonna be the guardian of this new child. But I think it's interesting how when I look at the lyrics, it could also be about a friendship. It could also be about yourself and being a good friend and guardian to yourself. And I like that there's a lot of different interpretations, because I am not at the point in my life where I have had kids, so I can't relate to it on that level, but I can relate to it on guarding yourself or guarding a friend. Yeah, it's very nice and definitely a good precursor to Ablaze off Such Pretty Forks in a Road. I feel like Ablaze is more updated because it's yo, I have 3 kids now. And it suits the sound of Such Pretty Forks in the Road. Whereas I feel like this seems closer to the era of Flavors of Entanglement, which is probably this album I think has the similar guys Sigsworth on here. So I believe it's going to have a similar production style a little bit to Flavors of Entanglement, and I'm really excited to continue diving in. Track number 2, Woman Down. Oh, this is a very groovy beat. I love that part. First woman down was your mother? What does that mean? His disrespect was in her face? Ooh. Who do you take me for? Ooh. Why must you vilify us? Period. Oh, I love how she sings Woman Down. 6th woman down. Dang, that's a amount of time. That very much feels like Not the Doctor vibes off of Jagged Little Pill. This is such a very rock part where it's like down, 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 down. We will take command now. Down. Period. So that was Woman Down, and what a bop. Like, that's a really catchy song that's gonna stick in my head. Like, it has a very, rock inspired production that, like, is a little less like Flavors of Entanglement, but, like, very catchy, very much like a vibe I can see Alanis putting on. And, it's very feminist, which we love. We stand feminists. Yes, we do. And, like, I really like the lyrics because I couldn't tell from just hearing it. But it was like calling all woman haters. Like, we have lowered the bar of what we'll take. Like, we have zero tolerance for your BS. And good. Like, I think this is a very catchy feminist anthem. Like, I'm a big fan of, like, well done feminist anthems. Sometimes they can be a little clunky. This one's not clunky at all. And I think you can jam to it, but then it also, because you can jam to it, like, it also gets its message across better because you're listening to it just for the fun of the song, but then they're also, like, thinking about the lyrics and you're like, oh, like, we shouldn't abuse people, period. I mean, especially not based on a characteristic to them, but we shouldn't abuse them in general at all. And, like, don't hate women. Misogyny is very bad. Like, I know I'm saying very simple things that probably most of you are totally on the same page as me on, but for anyone who's watching who thinks women are inferior or, like, hysterical or some other thing, like, stop. Like, women kind of are killing it. They all got crowns, so watch out. Track number 3 is Til You. Oh, is this gonna be a ballad? Spinning my wheels round. I'm dodging bullets till you. Ooh. So is her lover like the bullet that she allows herself to get hit with? Contenting myself with consolation prizes. They were mere placeholders for you. This feels like a follow-up to Moratorium to me. I don't know about you. Ooh, nice ending. So that was it, Til You, and what a romantic ballad. Like, I compare this to a couple different songs from Flavors of Entanglement. I think of it as like a follow-up to Not As We, because that was a really sad ballad. Now we're going into a happier ballad. And, like, I guess that's also like a follow-up to Torch, which is a different ballad from Flavors of Entanglement. And then Moratorium, I feel like it's like, oh, I need like a timeout. So was dodging things relationship, and now she's like, I'm here for you. Like, I've been dodging these bullets, these other people for you. And that's really sweet. Goes a lot with her self-sacrificing mentality that she shows on a lot of her previous works. But, like, it ends up being a pretty, like, happy song and is really nice to see the growth that has gotten us to this point. And yeah, I really like the song. It's, a calm song. I could probably fall asleep to it maybe. Like, it's definitely very relaxing, but not in a way that's like boring. It's more of a way that's like very calming and reassuring. Track number 4 is Celebrity. Ooh, this feels very ominous here. I have tasted stardom since before I breathed. Oh. I never left this ambitious city. I've studied long and hard how to proceed. Nothing but my name and bright lights call to me. Oh, that came out of nowhere. Tell me who I have to be. Oh, external pressures. Vintage Gucci. Give me celebrity. Okay. Hoping my persona ingratiates me. Give me my kingdom to be famous. Okay. So that was a celebrity, and that's a very distinct song. Like, I immediately think of the Lucky One off Taylor Swift's Red album, which came out the same year. Coincidence? I think not. But basically, it's commentary on being famous and being a celebrity. It seems like it's not from her own perspective, because it sounds like give me celebrity and make me famous, when by then she had already definitely been famous. Like the Jagged Little Pill era definitely made her famous, and that was like 17 years after when this came out. So like I don't see it as like, oh, this is very literally Alanis. And I also think it's being satirical, like it's, you know, being a parody of people who are just really hungry to be famous and just enjoy the limelight. And she's showing that, you know, there's downsides to it, like that you become pretty like hollow inside, you become a dancing monkey, you might be a puppet. And like especially with her dealing with it at a pretty young age, like I can see how that would, you know, mess you up and also like manipulate you, definitely. Like I can clearly see that happen. And like I like that she commented on it, and I think it's definitely a useful message. Like I feel like I hear it from different artists, but I don't think I've heard it yet from Alanis. I think the closest I've heard from her about it is like Offer, which is much more about like social responsibility rather than, you know, just being famous. That makes sense? Sonically, it's a song I think I'll like, but I think I have to listen to in headphones. Like it feels like there's a lot more production that just is not getting captured, because like it just seems very distinctly distinct, and I don't think that what I'm hearing right now is what the song actually fully sounds like. So I'm definitely going to give it a couple listens more, and then you'll see at the end like if I actually thoroughly enjoy it. But I think for now I'm going to like it. Track number 5 is Empathy. Oh, already giving me In Praise of the Vulnerable Man vibes. There's so many parts of me that I've hidden. Cut off my nose to spite my face? Like The Archer? Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for getting me. I really love all her songs about gratitude. This definitely gives me like 2000 nostalgia vibes sonically. I'm healed by your empathy. Thank you for understanding me. Your generosity. Thank you for your empathy. I like this raw piano here. It feels really good. Oh yes, bringing that piano at the end. So that was Empathy, and I feel like the message is pretty straightforward. She is healed by her partner's empathy and understanding her, and, you know, celebrating and validating all her emotions, whatever they may be, whether they're good, bad, the ugly, like any of it, it's all valid. And yeah, that's just a really sweet message. I really like the song both sonically and lyrically. I feel like there's some good gems of lyrics in there, and like the sonics are just really pretty. very much reminds me of In Praise of the Vulnerable Real Man, which is probably one of my favorite song flavors. And so like this just still felt good, and also like that piano that just like comes in there to sprinkle in, like I feel like that's gonna sound even better in headphones, and I just can't wait, honestly. Like it's a pretty like slow song, but like I very much vibe with it. Track number 6 is Lens. Oh, this feels very ominous here again. Okay, it feels a little less ominous now that they brought the beat in. We both live for truth. We live under the same roof, but we have different perspectives. It's your religion versus my religion. Through the lens of love, can we come to some compromise? I'm not your kind. We see things differently. Your conviction, my conviction. Oh, sing, Alanis. Yes, I love when she goes high with love. Oh, that was a cool way to end. So that was Lens, and that was a really sweet song. Like, felt very relatable. It's like, oh, you have your perspective, I have mine. Let's try to figure out how we can both win together. Which is a really, good message, very relatable message of like, oh, there can be misunderstandings and conflict in relationships, but that doesn't mean you need to break up. That just means you guys have to, see each other from each other's perspectives, have empathy. And so, like, because through compromising and, trying to look from someone else's point of view, you're going to get much farther. And yeah, I like her creating the message. It's a fun song. I would classify it like almost like the vibe of the Flavors, but kind of mixed a little bit with like probably some of the chiller sounds on Jagged. Like that's my take on it. Like I feel like Havoc and Bright Lights is creating its own sound, and I feel like the sound of Havoc and Bright Lights is pretty cohesive and very, I don't know, like songs I would listen to while doing other things, like not songs I need to like very much focus on. But again, speaker versus headphones first listen, that can be the vibe. But I also just feel like these songs messages, like I have been looking up lyrics each time, but I feel like I'm getting it like on the first listen, which I haven't felt like much on several projects of hers. So like you can judge that as a positive thing or a negative thing. I just feel like it is a thing where it's like, oh, I can kind of gauge what the song's message overall is, and that's easy for reacting and talking about it. But like it also means like it's not like I'm discovering probably something brand new every single time I listen, like some other songs. Track number 7 is Spiral. Oh, this one's got a very upbeat tempo to it. They're creeping back in. Who? Oh, this upbeat feels like a timer like ticking. You bring the light back in. Okay. Sing. They do their best to bring me down, but don't let them do that. I like this pre-chorus. It sounds so lovely. Don't leave me with all these critical voices. Ooh. This bridge is so cool. Ooh, we're gonna go back in. Let's go. Bring me down, bring me down. I don't know why, but this gives me like a YA film vibe. So that was Spiral, which lovely song. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That felt like a very like I don't know. I feel like that's a 2000s kind of vibe. But I don't know. I just think it sounds lovely, frankly. And, it's about, you know, the voices in our heads, the negative self talk, and how it can come at any moment. And you might need help, like, getting out of it. And, like, you know, you can tout your own, like, you're awesome, you're amazing, you're beautiful. Like, you can say that all to yourself. But it's also awesome when other people will say that for you, or specific, like, partner, significant other will help you out of that negative self-talk and reassure you that you are, like, worthy of love, affection, life, happiness, all that good stuff. And yeah, I like the message of the song. I like the song sonics. It's a good time. Track number 8 is Numb. Starting off pretty minimalist. All these songs start off so ominously. The lack of percussion here is unnerving. Oh, feels like we're like inversions of violence. I feel like we should be fast now, but we're really slow. Oh, here we are. This is very, like, video game rock vibes. I'd rather be flying. Ooh. I am bored. Ooh. I don't know why I said ooh, but I felt that. How to remove myself from sensation? Trying to be numb? Here comes a feeling, I run from the feeling. I'd rather be flying than comfortably numb. Is that what she said? Ooh, this electric guitar goes off. Oh. Dang, so much rock. So that was Numb, and okay, dark rock track. We haven't got that in a hot minute. Like, certainly not on this album, really. But, like, yeah, very much got versions of violence vibes. Like, it feels like the rock that they put in, like, a very, like, adventure battle video game. Like I said about versions of violence. Like, I feel like that very similarly. And, like, this song is about, trying to escape sensation and, like, reaching for your drug of choice. Like, it doesn't have to be an actual substance. It could be a person. It could be, like, video games. It could be, like, ice cream. Who knows? I assume for Alanis it would either be a person or it would be, like, alcohol, just because of the reasons I drink vibe. But, like, yeah, I mean, you can attribute it to your own life. And the I'd rather be flying and comfortably numb. At first I thought it was I'd rather be flying than comfortably numb, which, I'd hope that they would just, fly with the emotion rather than be comfortably numb. But it's actually flying and comfortably numb, like, the high you get from a drug. So, like, dark track, I assume people were like, we just want some good old rock tracks and not another very happy album. And so that's probably why this song's on here. I like this song, but I don't feel like it suits the character of what this overall album is sharing with us. Track number 9 is Havoc, which is one half of the album title, so maybe the whole album title is in here too. Is the title track going to be a ballad? I could hide behind false confidence. Big mood. I have no defense, I'm wreaking havoc. And Consequence. I thought it was going to be And Bright Lights. And Consequence again. Where's the Havoc and Bright Lights? The toppling house of cards of mine. Slipping again. Mood. Ooh, I love that snare roll. Oh, shoot. There it is. So that was Havoc, and the song has wreaked havoc because it doesn't have bright lights in it. Like, can someone please explain down in the comments below if I just missed where Havoc and Bright Lights is mentioned on this album? I mean, I still have 3 more songs to go, but it feels unsatisfying that, you know, every single album reaction, I'm like, oh, yes, I find it. Like, when I hear it for the first time, like, on the song that's listed. But, like, I feel a little unsatisfied and a little unfulfilled now because of that, just because I get really excited about that. And so I probably have to listen to the song again, not having those expectations, because I feel like that excitement and turning into disappointment might skew my version of how I feel about the song. I think I like it, but it is a very slow song, and it sounds similar to some of her other ballads, and I feel like the other ballads have messages that are more compelling to me. Again, this Havoc feels kind of similar to, like, Numb, like, in the fact that it feels almost like pre her marriage kind of vibe. Like, I mean, we know in Such Pretty Forks in the Road that she deals with mental health still, like, and that's definitely very true, but I feel like for this album feels like we are getting to that mellower, you know, I'm generally happy, but, you know, I'm also dealing with things that, you know, I'm living through. And so, like, I expect some songs to not be, like, purely positive, but I feel like that's what a lens is for, or a spiral is for. But, like, when it feels like Havoc, I'm just wreaking havoc, and Consequence, I'm slipping again. Like, it gives me very much Such Pretty Forks in the Road vibes, but it also just gives me, like, pre this album, Alanis vibes. And so, like, I don't know. I feel like I've heard this type of message from her before in much more interesting ways. So I'm going to have to, like, listen to it more. Considering that chaos and havoc are pretty similar meaning words, like so-called chaos versus havoc, they're very different vibes. Track number 10 is Win and Win. Oh, this is very distinct. This is a very distinct vibe, almost like a 2020. I'm not worthy to be with you. Alanis, don't say that. We are equal to each other. Ooh. Okay, I do take it back. I don't think it sounds like 2020 at all. We are flames that are twin. Ooh, twin flames. Ooh, this is an interesting bridge, like, sonically. Oh, that felt fast. Okay, I classify it as a satisfying ending. So that was Win and Win, and that was a nice, pleasant song about, like, how in her relationship now it's like a win and win situation, not a win-lose dynamic. And, like, I appreciate that message. It's a good message to hear. It means she's definitely happy, at least at the time of writing this. I think she probably still is, because, like, they're still together now, and it doesn't seem like there's any problems there. Not from Such Pretty Forks, but I don't know. In terms of how I feel about the song, I feel like maybe it's just because, like, I didn't fully vibe to Havoc originally, and then having the next longest song happen right after that, like, that's, like, it slows me down. And I feel like this concept, like, isn't that, like, big and bold as some of her other songs, or like as interesting. Like I'm like, oh, that's like a cool concept. I don't need a 5-minute song of it. I could do with like a 3-minute song of it. But like, yeah, Havoc and Win being the two longest songs on this album, that just doesn't sit right with me. Like I feel like there are songs I would much rather play longer. And like these songs, I'm like, okay, like I've heard these kind of concepts before, and I feel like it's something similar to what we've heard either on other songs on this album or maybe on So-Called Chaos. So like I'm fine with the Win. I don't think it's gonna be a song I like. I'm completely like not really my thing, but like I can't right now at least fully imagine me turning on a 5-minute song being like, oh yeah, it is a win situation, if that makes sense. Like I just feel like some of the other songs are just have more interesting concepts. Like A Lens is kind of interesting, Celebrity is kind of more interesting, like Woman Down, Spiral. Like those songs are not only shorter, but they also like their concepts and how they're talked about are more interesting than I feel like a Win. Track number 11 is Receive. Again, another ominous introduction. Oh, I can get down with this groove though. I make sure your needs are met. Aw, helping each other out. It's all about me? Oh, treat yourself, Alanis. I move on through offerings. Offer callback. I do love the sonics of this chorus so much. It's such a groovy time. Learning how to receive. Yeah, that's something that she probably needs to learn. Fearing you is so knee-jerk. Why are you afraid? I need to acknowledge me. Yes, Alanis. Oh, I love her background vocals. Okay. Yes, honestly, these ad-libs are giving me so much life. To receive. Period. So that was Receive, and ooh, I fully enjoy that song. Like, it's basically about learning to treat yourself, so like, how could I not like that? Like, it's a good song. Like, today's all about me. I need to learn how to fill my cup and, you know, acknowledge me and my needs. And I like that. I love her taking control and power in the narrative. And it's something that she needs to do. Like, she's very much a selfless person by nature and a giver by nature. Like, I think of Offer from Feast and Scraps. I also just think of, like, how she described her toxic relationships, about how she gives so much. Like a you owe me nothing in return vibe. So, like, yeah, I'm glad that she's taking time to reflect and be introspective. Even if she's happy in a relationship, like, she needs to think about her. And I hope that, like, her partner's like, yo, babe, I've got you. Like, don't you worry. I'll fill your cup too. Like, hopefully, yes, that, you know, is a very good, healthy relationship, is when you reciprocate that kind of thing. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. Sonically, it definitely has a good like vibe to it. It's definitely something I can see myself listen to regularly, and good message as well. So I really like it. It picks back from two of longer songs that I find is interesting. I like this song. It feels refreshing. I think she's probably acknowledged her own self-worth before, but I feel like you could never have too much of that, so like I'm good with it. I also think it's told in a more interesting way and in a way that's concise but also catchy. Track number 12, last track on this album, Edge of Evolution. Oh, feels very digital right now. I leave my story in the dust. Oh, so here we go, and we just win in. Out here on the edge of evolution. Let's go. Oh, this feels very classic, nostalgic. I feel like we're building to something, and I'm excited for it. We're already here? Oh, here we are versus here we go. Oh, I like the intonation on that version of Out Here on the Edge of Evolution. Sing us out, Alanis. Let's go. So that was Edge of Evolution, and what a way to end the album. Like, I feel like all her closers are always so good. Like, we have Pedestal, we have Edge of Evolution, we have Incomplete, we have Everything. Like, just each song, like, generally speaking, like, each closing track, like, really, like, hits home and very much wraps up the album. This song is generally about, like, oh, you know, we're on the edge of evolution. Like, kind of straightforward in its title, but, like, being like, oh, we have the potential to become something greater. And that's cool. Like, I'm all for social awareness and Alanis pushing that charge. I wonder how, like, effective the album was in doing that. But, like, I'm a fan for any political message that Alanis wants to get into. I liked it a bit on The Flavors of Entanglement when it did get political at times, and on albums before that. But, like, I feel like this song kind of, like, reminds us, yo, she's still gonna be socially active and working towards progress in society, and I'm happy that she's on the team. Sonically, I also enjoy it. I feel like it fits with the album in terms of the sonics of it. It's not too harsh rock, but it's also, like, not, like, super soft either. Like, it's a nice balance, and overall, I enjoy it. So that brings us to the end of the album, and wow, it's wild to say I don't have a full Alanis reaction coming soon. That's like a whole album. That's wild for me. So we've kind of completed the journey, and I can see this album being like the missing puzzle piece in between Flavors of Entanglement and Such Pretty Forks in the Road. Like, it makes sense that we went from Flavors to here and now going on to Such Pretty Forks. I very much see that. It's nice to see her have a romantic album, but also still having her characteristic tracks of, you know, mental health, politics, feminism, everything. And I guess that does cause for a little bit of havoc. I will say I did figure it out since reacting to Havoc that the Bright Lights was a reference to Celebrity, because I remember saying my name in Bright Lights. And so that's interesting, first of all, that she combined lyrics from two different songs, and then also that it's not in the order that those songs came in. So that's very confusing, Alanis. And if you're trying to have people just discover your lyrics that form your title, you didn't do that great of a job, or you made it really difficult this time. I also think that, like, Havoc and Bright Lights is not what I would have named the album. I mean, that's Alanis' choice, obviously. But, like, I don't see this album having much Havoc, and I don't think Celebrity is a characteristic track of the album either. I feel this album is much more romantic. I also see, like, you know, mental health, but within a relationship dynamic. And just overall a lot more positiveness. I guess the Bright Lights could be mentioning, you know, there's, like, you know, the brightness of, like, the relationship. But, like, that's not what it is in the song at all. And yeah, I'm tentatively saying for now that I feel like of the album titles that I've heard from Alanis, like, this one makes the least sense knowing the album. Like, I feel like Flavors of Entanglement captures it perfectly. Such Pretty Forks in the Road, I feel like, is pretty good as well. Jagged Little Pill, definitely. Like, Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie, yes. Under Oaks Up, yes. Feast on Scraps, yes. So-Called Chaos. So yeah, it's pretty much like I don't see much of Havoc and Bright Lights doing that, but like, you know, that's just my personal opinion on title naming. In terms of like the actual songs themselves, I do like quite a number of these. Like, this is still within my element of like alt indie pop rock vibes, like very 2000s aesthetics. It's early 2010s, so it's gonna be some carryover. And I like that we do get a little bit of an evolution in terms of her lyrics. Like, I don't feel like this album has much of like the listing format that she has done on several different songs of hers. And it might be a little bit in here, but like, I feel like it's much more subtle and not used as like the main device in any song. So I'm appreciative of that because I feel like that shows her on the edge of evolution. And like, I feel like this album does evolve because it's like, oh, we moved from being really sad to, yo, we're still having bad mental health, but you know, we're generally doing pretty all right. And like, that's a nice breath of fresh air. Like, looking at the cover itself, like, it's outside, it's like her breathing in the air. Wish we could breathe in the air right now, but it's 2021. I think a lot of this album still is going to have that vibe of, oh, I listened to it in the background. I'm not going to get a lot of catharsis, I feel like, from listening to this album. But, you know, not every album has to do that. Like, I have my albums already to do that. And it's nice to have an album from Alanis that I'm just like, ooh, like, this is just a nice vibe. And I'm clearly vibing. And yeah, I appreciate that fully. With that said, here are my favorites. So the top tier are songs that I love, the standouts, the top tier. In the middle, we have songs that I also like. I will put them on my playlist, but they might not get listened to as much as the top tier. And then songs at the bottom are just not really my thing. Doesn't mean they're a bad song, doesn't mean they can't be your favorite. Just means it's probably not made for me, and that's okay. We have different opinions. I hope you can see my opinions through the lens of love. I have plenty more Alanis content coming your way, even though like we don't have a big album anymore. But I hope to, you know, re-listen to Jagged Little Pill. I'm thinking probably Such Pretty Forks in the Mix. I saw that. And then a lot of music videos and stuff. I also saw that there were like 8 bonus tracks for this album. So I didn't include that in here because I didn't want this video to be super long. But if you'd like me to listen to those and provide links for those, I will be more than happy to do that as well. If you like this video, please like it. Please comment down below what you'd like me to react or listen to next. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already and you'd like to be. And thanks for watching. This is TurtleStormer. Catch you later.
It's storming turtles from out of the sky. Turtles don't need to know why. Smile, big.